Hey review family, today I'm going to be coming to you with a topic that is very heavy and the type of thing that I don't really want to do much touching up or anything along those lines, hence not the normal intro. But I just wanted to go over the death of an artist and how exactly that impacts how you listen to their music and the emotion that can be invoked as a result of that. And this is going to touch on things besides metal and rock, but I just want to give a couple examples from my personal opinion and how it has impacted me and my listening with certain bands and certain artists as a result of it. And I want to sort of ping pong that with you guys and hear if there are bands or artists that you just have a difficult time listening to now the same way now that they're not with us for whatever reason, and how that impacts your listening. Are there artists that just give you a different feeling now that they are gone? I think a couple of the ones that come to my mind immediately would be Chris Cornell from Soundgarden, as well as Chester Bennington of Linkin Park, obviously. Two artists and two bands that had a profound impact on both my listening experience, my gateway bands, and two bands that mean a lot to me. And I can't lie and say that when I listen to, say, Linkin Park's Meteora or Hybrid Theory or even some of their later records like One More Light, it's difficult for me to sort of turn away from that and act like that doesn't exist, like they're not with us anymore. And specifically considering the circumstances of their passings, it really is difficult for me personally to look past that when I listen to it. It doesn't take away from the music. If anything, it just fills me with a different feeling entirely as I am listening to it. And this stretches past even metal or rock when you look at artists like David Bowie, that when I listen to Black Star, especially considering how much he was focusing on his own demise on that record, sort of that acceptance of himself, such a strikingly beautiful record through and through. It's hard for me to go back to that record, and it's hard for me to go back to David Bowie's discography in general, but specifically Black Star. Another artist that comes to mind is, say, Johnny Cash. When you listen to his revision of the Nine Inch Nails song Hurt, it takes a completely different tone on knowing that he's not with us, and especially when you watch that haunting music video that deserves all the credit in the world for what it got, one of the most beautiful music videos that I have ever seen, and I think that's not an unpopular opinion to think it is one of the most beautiful releases for a music video and for a song. It's just so raw. And if you go to hip-hop, there are so many artists that when you listen to them, it feels different knowing that they're no longer with us, whether you're talking about some of the greats like Tupac and Biggie, these people that had these really harsh lives that came to a close too early. When you listen to certain songs that deal with matters like that, it just doesn't hit the same way. It takes on a whole new embodiment of what that theme really meant. And even recently, artists like XXXTentacion or Lil Peep, it just feels odd, especially with X releasing a song like I Met the Devil in Miami, that type of thing, or Lil Peep's constant cries out for help, or recently in the electronic scene, Sophie, one of the most important artists to me, her tragically dying in just a terrible way that just, if you know the story, you know I don't want to go into graphic details. So many times when a musician passes away, no matter the circumstances, I've noticed how different a tone of a track or a tone of an album can take on in the retrospect. And for you guys, I'm just wondering if there are artists or bands that have the same impact to you where after their passing, it just felt so different. I'd say a recent example that shook a lot of the metal community and the punk community would be Riley of Power Trip, where I've had trouble re-listening to Power Trip since then. I've went back to their discography, and I would, once enough time passes, like to highlight them and maybe do like a worst to best or something, but it's difficult listening to Power Trip and just how full of energy and beautiful Riley was as a musician and as a person, and seeing him leave us far too early, it makes Power Trip a little bit more, or a lot more, difficult to listen to for me. And I'm just wondering if you guys have the same experience with any bands or artists. Be sure to let me know down below. I cannot wait to hear it. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.